Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is Styling V, and this is a tutorial on how to make this maxi bubu gown. Trust me, it's very easy and simple to make. So you'll be learning how to make this bubu gown right here in this video. So let's get started. So the first thing for you to do is to fold your fabric into 4. So I'm using 3 yards of dutchess fabric to make this. 3 yards of dutchess fabric. You fold it in such a way that there will not be joining at the shoulder line. Okay, so there is no joining at the shoulder line, so you fold this into 4. Now if you are tall, I suggest you use 3.5 yards and not 3 yards, okay, because these 3 yards won't get to the floor length. So after doing this, the next thing you do is to mark the neck width. So I'm using a neck width of 3 inches and also a neck depth of 3 inches. This is for both the front and back. Okay, I'll just connect them together like this. So after connecting them, I will proceed to cut. So I'll be folding this neckline. That is, I'll fold the neckline. I won't be using a bias. If you want, you can use a bias. So we're done with cutting the neckline of this dress. So the next thing for us to do is to notch the shoulder line, so we could know where the shoulder line starts from. Okay, so I'll proceed to notch the shoulder line of both the back and front, so you can see what we have right here. So the next step for us to do is to determine how open you want your sleeve to be on this part here. So this depends on you, but for me, I think I came down by 10 inches, yes, as my sleeve opening. Then you also note that down, and then you give it a notch. Okay, then you give this part a notch like this. So this is just how simple it is to cut it. So I'll take this over to my sewing machine and I will hem the neckline. That's how I'll fold the neckline and also fold the sleeve opening. Okay, that is to give it this neat finishing on it. So you can even go as far as using a bias. If you don't use a bias, you can just weave it. Okay, so whatever thing you want to do to the neckline. So I'll proceed to fold this neckline. So you just be doing it like in a tiny form, okay, not too wide, so that your neckline will not be too wide. So that was why I used 3 inches for the neck width and neck depth. So I'll just proceed to fold it like this repeatedly. You know, it's a round neckline, so you just have to do the same thing round until you get to where it's end. Okay, sorry guys, this particular part wasn't visible, but from my explanation you understand. So I'm done sewing the neckline, so you can see what we have right here. And the next step for us to do is also fold the sleeve opening. So remember, we notched the sleeve opening earlier. So from that notched part, you can see what we have right here. So you can tell this is the sleeve opening. So from one notched part to the other part, so that is where you will fold. Okay, so I'll just proceed to start from one notched part like this. You open it up and you start from one notched part here. Just watch what I am doing, and you also do the same thing, and you fold to meet the other side. So I'll just fold it with 1/2 of an inch first, and also another 1/2 of an inch, so you can see what I am doing here. So I'll take it round. So you do this from one notch point to the other notch point. That is for both the back and front. So you keep folding it and you keep sewing on the edge. Okay, so just watch what I am doing, and you also do the same thing. So remember, we notched the sleeve opening earlier, so that is just the only part that you sew from one sleeve opening straight down to the other sleeve opening. So whatever thing you do to one end, you also do it to the other end. Okay, so this is just to cover up the rough edges around the sleeve opening side. Now, one thing about this type of bubu is that you can even weave them. Okay, you can overlock it if you don't want to sew it. So guys, I am done, and you can see what we have right here. So the next thing for us to do is to shape. So I'll just fold the sleeve openings together like this, and I'll proceed to shape. Okay, so now on this part, you can just proceed to shape with 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Okay, so now I'll just proceed to shape like this, as you can see we're doing right here. So I will shape from the sleeve opening straight down to meet the hemline of the gown. Okay, so as you're shaping, you're arranging it so that it will be of equal length. So you can see we're done with one part, and this is the second part. So I also fold it So I'll proceed to fold it into two like this, and I will sew. That is, I'll shape using the same 1-inch that I used in shaping the other side. So I'll just continue like this. So when you're done shaping, the next thing for you to do is to hem the down part. That is, you sew the down part of the gown, okay? Or you can even weave it and also weave the inside. So guys, I am done sewing, and you can see what we have right here. So don't forget to subscribe, and see you in our next video. So bye.